Hello again. Today I want to talk about some books I've read this month. I believe I've read 5 so far this month, and I've already done a video on Magnolia Parks, so I thought I'd just talk about some of the other ones I read. So one book I've read this month is If You Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin, I believe that is her name. And this is about Autumn and Finn, who have kind of known each other their whole lives. They've been friends their whole lives, but there's something more going on there. You know, it's kind of a story of, you know, their adolescence, their sort of own relationships, their own friendship groups, and, you know, whilst everything's going on, there's like this undertone of, you know, longing for each other, particularly from Autumn's perspective. You see a lot more from kind of Autumn's perspective than from Finn's. I felt this book was a little bit weird because I felt like Autumn, like her personality was a lot younger than she was. Like when I was reading, I was like, how is this a 15-year-old? She kind of sounds like she's like, she could pass like 10. I suppose maybe that's kind of as a result of her like situations she's living in, you know, kind of a tumultuous relationship with her parents, or she's viewing their tumultuous relationship as impacting her personality. I don't know, but you know, I also felt like the sort of emotional aspect of this book, which obviously was the end, you know, because it didn't, I don't think it built up that well to it. There could have been a little bit more going on, and so although it was sad, the ending, it could have had more impact, I think. Yeah, maybe if it was like over a longer period of time as well, because I think it was like 4 years or something of their lives, if it was drawn out a bit more, that might have had more impact for me. But it was a nice enough book. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5, so yeah, it's not too bad. I also read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, and this was an experience. Like, I cannot get over how like brutal this book was. You know, it's about kind of jealousy. Obviously there's, you know, I mean the book's called Yellowface, so it kind of tells you what you need to know about the overall kind of feeling of this book. You know, racism plays a huge role in this book. I really love R.F. Kuang as a writer because she kind of doesn't really shy away from the more kind of brutal aspects of the human existence, and she didn't shy away in this book either. She, you know, there were a lot of moments in this book where I was like, what on earth is going on here? This cannot be happening, but it was. You know, I love the personalities of these characters. They were all a little bit unhinged. June, obviously, you know, she was the main character. She was especially unhinged in this book. What I will say though is I felt like the ending was a little bit kind of anticlimactic. Like, I get it, you know, she's an author and, you know, she's gone so far, so she's like, I can go further, and that's what she plans to do. But it would be nice if it had a bit more kind of if it felt kind of more rounded off, because it kind of just felt a little bit open. But other than that, it's a brilliant book. It's definitely a page turner, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. I would really recommend reading this. It's brilliant. I also read Nod by Adrian Barnes, and this I finished earlier today. Very weird book in that, you know, I mean, the premise of the book is there's this kind of plague, I suppose you could say, of wakefulness. You know, like most people aren't able to sleep, and there's only a few who can, and Paul is one of them. And, you know, he's kind of like a witness to like the chaos that ensues, including, you know, with his partner Tanya. And the language used in this book is really kind of graphic and brutal at times. There's a lot of kind of mentions of animals and kind of relating that to the human existence, especially when it comes to insomnia. You know, you slowly go mad, and so kind of those more animal instincts kick in. And yeah, this book is a little bit unhinged. The sort of writing style kind of reminds me of Stephen King, in that it's, you know, it's kind of very odd, generally very odd, and yeah, I felt like maybe it was a little bit short. It'd be nice to have a little bit more kind of background information about, like, you know, what actually caused it, because that's not mentioned. But yeah, one of the weirder books I've read, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. You know, it's because it was so weird. It was hard for me to like fully enjoy it. I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. It's you know, it's nice to have a new reading experience, even if it's not entirely what you want from it. But it's a solid book. So the last book I want to talk about is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I don't have the physical copy of this book because I did sell it, which kind of tells you what you need to know about what I thought of it. You know, when I read that this was kind of a Regency setting book, I was like, oh, that's so cool, that's the sort of thing I really like. You know, and there's fairies involved, so I was like, oh, that's a really cool kind of mix going on. But yeah, it kind of fell flat for me, really. You know, the story details a young girl, Dora, who loses half her soul after it's taken by a fairy, you know, and that fairy does show up again, and, you know, there's a story to tell there, but, you know, the whole half a soul thing really didn't matter that much. I don't think it really impacted the overall story at all. It could have been explored more, there could have been more to lose, I think. There was some romance in this, and I suppose it was okay, as romance goes. And I suppose the whole point was kind of just to show that even though she only had half a soul, she was still worth loving, and I suppose in that sense it's nice. But yeah, it didn't really matter that she only had half a soul, really, and I felt like the story was really short and there was a lot of stuff missing. Yeah, I didn't like it that much. Unfortunately, it wasn't really for me. I think I'd give it like a 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, I think if the world building was better and there was more impact, I would have enjoyed it more. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5 for me. So those were the books I've read so far this month. Nice variety of books. I'm also reading Carol by Stephanie Garber and Sushi for Beginners by Marianne Keyes. I love Marianne Keyes. No one ever talks about her, but she's a really, really funny writer, and Carol, you know, it's kind of like a magical kind of story, it seems, and so far I'm liking both of these books, hoping to finish them by the end of the month. And I've also got A Little Life I was hoping to read this month, but I don't know if I'll have enough time, and I'm a little bit worried because, you know, I've heard a lot about A Little Life that's quite an intense read, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you've read any of these books and you have your own opinions on them, please let me know in the comments down below. Please consider liking and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, and goodbye for now. Also, forgot to mention I'm going to see Oppenheimer tomorrow, so I might make a video on it, kind of talking about what I thought of it. So we'll see what actually happens. I'll try.